Hey friends, welcome back to the Day in the Life vlog. If you're new here, my name is Ali. I'm a doctor based in the UK, and this is episode 1 of season 4 of the vlog, and the theme for this season is the unemployment diaries. I'm now 1 month into my sabbatical from medicine, which means I can spend literally all of my time making these internet videos LMFAOOO. The day begins at 7:30 AM. I'm at Mother's house in St Albans, just outside of London. Mother is very good to me, and she even feeds me sometimes. Today I'm in luck, and she cooks up a mean omelette with toast and butter and jam, a solid start to the day with a healthy and nutritious breakfast. I wash up the dishes, drop my phone in a bowl of water because I'm an idiot, and then shower and change into my incredibly masculine t-shirt before sitting down on my MacBook to do some hashtag productivity for half an hour. Then at 10 AM, my brother and I set off towards London Heathrow to visit the Tesla collection place to collect the new Model 3. In anticipation of the psychological phenomenon of hedonic adaptation, I get some thoughts on the record about what it feels like to drive a normal car before my worldview changes forever. Alright, so we're on the motorway at the moment, and in the normal car, one thing that I've often actively noticed is how much noise there is. There's the noise of the engine, and then there's all the noise from the outside, and if I want to actually kind of have a conversation while driving at 70 on a motorway, you kind of do have to raise your voice a little bit to be heard. Also, if I'm listening to an audiobook or music, I have to have the volume up pretty loudly, assuming I'm not wearing my AirPods, because apparently that's not allowed. So obviously I don't do that. The other thing about normal car is the acceleration. So I think the acceleration on this is absolutely fine. I have no idea what the 0 to 60 on this is, but I imagine it's 10 seconds or something like that. And there have only been very few circumstances when I've needed to overtake someone, or where I've had a stretch of empty road in front of me where I've kind of felt that it would be nice if this accelerated a little bit faster. But in general day-to-day driving, I actually don't need particularly fancy acceleration. The other nice thing about this normal car is that it's fairly high up. I feel like I'm sitting generally quite straight. I can kind of see the end of the car, and I therefore feel like I'm distanced from the road. So it sort of feels like I'm just sitting in a normal chair with the same posture that I would in a normal chair, like at my desk or something, and I just happen to be moving. Whereas I know that with more sportier cars, your body is closer to the road and you're kind of more lean back. So that'll be something I'm not really used to. This to me right now feels like a 10 out of 10 in terms of comfort, even though it's a very normal car. It kind of does everything I need it to. The only thing this car doesn't have right now is that the air conditioning is broken. So that has been a sort of significant negative on very hot days. I don't really know what I'm missing right now. And I suspect that when the Tesla arrives, maybe my standards will increase. We get to the collection center and queue up with a load of other dudes picking up their Teslas. The Tesla guy types a few details into the computer and hands us the key, which turns out to be a fancy-ass card rather than a proper key. When we enter the car for the first time, it asks us to give the car a name. Friends, meet my new companion, Hermione. There we go. Now, how the hell do you drive this thing? Okay. Whoa! Why are you not filming?
I am.
Okay, need to not crash into anyone on the way out.
Literally no noise.
Whoa. Okay, I need to adjust the steering wheel and stuff, because this is not comfortable. Alright, so that's the first experience driving the new Tesla Model 3. Honestly, it feels kind of the same as driving any other car. There's a few things about it that were particularly interesting. The acceleration is actually really nice. It feels like you're very powerful when you're on the road because you're not really using much of the speed or much of the acceleration. And so when you want it, there's a load of reserve that's there in terms of accelerating quickly out of a roundabout or from traffic lights. So that's been quite a nice feature. The other nice thing is the sound system. It is a little bit quieter overall driving the car than my normal car. And the sound system is significantly nicer, so I can listen to my audiobook with better quality, which is just kind of nice. The seat is pretty comfortable. It's immediately obvious once you get in that it kind of feels like you're sitting on a sofa, but then you get used to it very quickly. And overall, it doesn't feel any more comfortable than my previous normal car. I think that's more a case of you just sort of get used to a seat when you're sitting in it, and you can't really tell unless you're going from one to the other, which you probably wouldn't do. Tamor drives the old car home, and I take Hermione out for a proverbial spin. After showing the car to Mother and watching her take lots of photos from inside, I get back to work. I make myself a cheeky cup of instant coffee and get back to my MacBook to do some more hustling. After all, man's got to make some more online courses to pay for this new car, am I right? Alright guys, I want to share a little tip with you for something that has transformed my productivity, and that is basically the idea of having a projects list. This is something I kind of half-assed a little bit, but I've kind of started taking it seriously. So last night I just made a list of all the different projects that I was working on, and I kind of realized that if you just have this list and you just order it kind of based on the effort you want to be putting or the attention you want to be giving to each of them, in the last kind of hour just this morning, we've gotten so much done in terms of me getting stuff done and delegating other bits that I just never would have done before just having this project list. In general, there are so few people who actually use project list, but apparently it's one of the single biggest things that can massively boost your productivity, as I found out in the Building a Second Brain course that I am taking part in and mentoring at the moment. So that's been very exciting. I just thought I'd share that with you. So if you're interested in boosting your productivity, really useful to have just a list of projects that you're working on. We'll do a video in more detail talking about the power of the project list. In fact, should plan that video right now. At this point, it's around 1 p.m. and so I spent some time preparing for a physiology teaching session that I'll be doing over Zoom for my first year medical students who have their exams coming up. Isn't that fun? After half an hour though, I find myself losing concentration, so I head over to Taimur's bedroom for a cheeky nap. After dozing for a bit, at 2:15 I stop being a waste man and warm some leftover biryani for lunch, which we eat while watching season 10 of Modern Family. Then at 3 p.m. I decide to continue a burst of productivity and I drive over to the service station to charge the car. I plug it in, give a nod of respect to the other Tesla drivers near me, and grab a latte from Starbucks. I intend to get some work done, but instead I end up spending 20 minutes browsing Tesla accessories. Hermione finishes charging in around 30 minutes, so I head back home before it starts to charge me for idle time in the supercharger. Alright, so more first impression stuff. So the supercharging experience was pretty good. I just rocked up to a supercharger, I pressed the button on the thing, the charging door of the car opened, I plugged it in, didn't have to put any payment in. I don't know how it's going to charge me, but it just worked really well, and within about half an hour it went from 38% all the way up to 80%. I could have charged it longer if I'd wanted to, but they recommend kind of 80% unless you're going on a long journey, because the final 20% takes a bit longer, and apparently if you charge it all the way too much, then that ruins the quality of the battery or something like that. The driving experience as well, having done it a little bit more, there were so many moments where I thought, damn, this thing is really nice. It was mostly when accelerating, because when you're on a motorway, for example, traveling at 70 miles per hour, it doesn't really feel much different to my normal car. But in kind of day-to-day town driving, where there's a gap of road in front of me and I can then accelerate, that's when I feel, yeah, I've got the power, this is sick. It's also very quiet. Now, again, if you're driving at 70 on the motorway, you still get the sound from the outside and you still get the sound of the wheels. It still feels quieter than my normal car, but you really get a sense of the quietness when you're driving slowly. So for example, coming into this gated area right now, I almost couldn't hear the car at all. Whereas with my normal car, I would have heard a big thrum of the engine noise. So I suppose the slower you drive, the more you appreciate the silent features of the car. And so halfway through day one of driving, at the moment, I'm thinking, this was totally worth it. It's just very pleasant to drive and makes me feel kind of cool. So we'll see how it goes for the rest of the time. I get home around 4:30 p.m. and do another burst of work. From 5 p.m. I join a mentor session for the Building a Second Brain online course that I'm a mentor in, and I chat to some of the other students in breakout rooms to discuss what we're all aiming to get out of our second brains. And then at 5:30 p.m. I do a Zoom interview with Dan from the Super Organizers newsletter, where we talk in depth about my Notion setup and the behind the scenes of my personal productivity for whatever that's worth. At 6:40, I get back on the computer, this time to plan out some of the Tesla videos in detail. I spend around 20 minutes writing scripts for more upcoming videos, and then at 7 p.m. I decide that I might as well head to the gym to bash out a quick sesh and try to bring my dream of becoming a Gymshark athlete one step closer. I get to the gym around 7:30 p.m. and then I spend 40 minutes there, only really doing 2 exercises because I'm way too caught up in the audiobook for Cricket Kingdom by Lee Bardugo. I leave at 8:10, arriving home at 8:25 p.m. and marveling at how nice Hermione is to drive at night. When I get home, I continue plugging away at some more video scripts on Notion, and then Taimur and I drive to town to pick up some grilled chicken takeaway. We get home around 9:30 when we munch on our takeaway while watching 2 episodes of Modern Family, and then before calling it a night, Taim and I practice the harmonies of the song Something Stupid by Robbie Williams and Nicole Kidman. That brings today's Day in the Life vlog to a close. Thank you for watching. Do please hit this playlist for more videos in the series, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Good night.
Place to dance and know that there's a chance you won't be leaving with me. And afterwards we drop into a quiet little place and have a drink or two.
Okay, hang on. Let's practice that afterwards. But
Oh mate, Fatima sent you a message on Mismatch.
Okay.